What up? Good morning. September 4th, Monday of September. The first Monday, 2023. Yeah, falls upon us. All of that. You know it. I'm on Cameo. I've been doing those every so often. Don't forget it. Welcome back to the podcast. If you're new here, welcome. Quick word from our sponsors before we get into the episode. Oh, yeah, no, we don't have any yet. Because this isn't a real podcast. This is an alternate reality where I'm a very successful podcaster. Got millions of followers. I have guests of all walks of life, scientists, comedians, musicians, intellectuals, professors, priests. The Pope came on last week. It's a good time. And one of the things I do on here is read about the news. You've probably already heard about Burning Man. People are stranded there. And they're being told to conserve food, water, and fuel after a heavy rainstorm plummeted the area. Plummeted the desert. And apparently that's a bad thing. Even though I thought the desert needed water. You know, doesn't the desert need water? Isn't it dry there? But I guess it's an issue of climate change. Like the ocean is supposed to be wet. The desert's supposed to be dry. And they're flip-flopping. Like a middle-aged father at the beach. They're flip-flopping it. And it's making the earth uncomfortable. I can only imagine. Because it's like if the inside of your body dried up and all of it condensated to the outside of your body, you'd feel off and it wouldn't be right. And you would assume the end is near. And that's what's going on with the world. Anywho, yeah, that's going down. People are stranded. But the new development is there's investigating a death. Not the Burning Man. They knew about that guy. Every year they sacrifice a man by burning him at the stakes. So that's not a new development, but I guess there was another man that died. And they can't get into the details. So maybe he drowned. Maybe they resorted to cannibalism quicker than they needed to because they're high on who knows what drugs. Most of the attendees is what they do. They go out to do drugs there. And what they're saying, nothing about delegating hunters and gatherers. They're saying conserve water and food and fuel. Which the food and fuel I get, but water, it just rained. Can't they just scoop? Can they not just scoop the puddles? Has anybody suggested this? Or put out a bucket, for the love of God? That's all it takes. It does look pretty mucky. Impossible to walk in this muck. No footing at all. But what'd you expect? Being way out in the middle of backcountry, yeah? I just watched Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas for the 100th time. Among the attendees at the festival were DJ Diplo and comedian Chris Rock. Chris Rock posted a video on Instagram of thick mud, and Diplo posted a series of videos in which he said a fan offered him and Rock a ride out of the site. But really, we know they just called a chopper. One of them, let's say Diplo, was like, please tell me this was a mistake. Why did we come here with these poor people? We gotta get out of here. I was not expecting this much mud. Chris Rock was taking videos. Diplo saw the videos and was like, thank God there's another famous person here. Chris Rock was like, yeah, this shit crazy, man. You seeing this mud? We gotta get the fuck out of here. And stat. Sorry about that. I'm regretting that. But what are you gonna do? It's in the ether now. And so they called a chopper. You get to the chopper. They ran to it. The chopper couldn't land though. So it was hovering. Dropped down the ladder. Diplo and Rock started climbing the ladder like an action movie. I assume the other attendees were like, is that Chris Rock and Diplo leaving on a plane? On a helicopter? Hey! Get him! And they all started chasing him, and it was probably pretty dramatic. And there was also probably a group over here just kind of playing with the mud because they were high out of their minds. And they probably thought the mud was a blessing from God. Like, think about it. All these creative minds in one place, building sculptures, and then God sends an endless supply of sculpting material. Do you realize what this is? Are we sure this isn't just a collective trip? Have we heard? I mean, either way, this is a bad trip, whether you're on drugs or not. This is a bad trip. It's not how you plan the trip to go. But have we gotten any confirmation outside of the festival? Because it could just be a group hallucination. I mean, it's either that, or it's all of a sudden raining a bunch in the desert, which is typically a dry and arid biome. Notoriously dry and arid. So which do we think is likely the case? I don't know. I'm not saying either one. My job is to give you the options. You decide for yourself. So yeah. Still, the poor conditions have not stopped the creativity, said Beerhorn, who had traveled from San Francisco. People are building mud sculptures. What'd I just say? Did I not just call that? Because they're high. And it was God sent. I would be with that group. But then again, at the same time, someone needs to be delegating. Hunters, gatherers, and scoopers. For the love of God, someone put out a bucket to collect water. Someone, I don't care who. Preferably not a minority. Just make someone be the bucket man. There's a nice picture of a rainbow here. Okay. So this is where we're at. Still no updates. Let me look up updates on Burning Man. They put water on him, and he's not on fire anymore. Good news. No. What does it actually say? It just says everybody's unfazed by the mud. Good on them. Good for them. Don't let it mud up your positive vibes. Anyways, good morning, everybody. Yeah, if you're still watching, thanks for being here. You may have tuned out. I don't blame you. I'm just kind of venting. These are the thoughts that would be in my brain, so it's nice to be able to get them out. And we've got a nice little family going here. A nice family, building in numbers, building in heart and soul and passion, prosperity. And we got a lot of Presbyterians, new Presbyterians, a lot of Alrighty, folks, that's going to wrap things up here for episode 144. Hope to see you next week. Buddy of mine's very special guest, David Miscavige, second and current leader of the Church of Scientology, is coming on to share his thoughts on the church and the Burning Man situation. We thank you for your viewership. We thank you for your donations. Have a good Monday.